Disputation 2. In the privacy of Crito, Socrates speaks on behalf of the law, in contradiction to his public apology. Speaking as the law, he says the first rule of any state is that citizens are not free to set aside the rules as a matter of personal conscience, to choose among them which ones to obey and disobey. His reasoning is that the questioning or breaking of so much as a single law is anarchy, since it calls into question the authority of capital L law, which the citizen owes his very existence to. We are who we are because of the nomos, the conventions, the culture and traditions that have regulated our parents' marriage, our nurture and education. And in this sense, the laws have begat us and possess more than just a paternal authority over us. He says your country, quote, is more to be valued and higher and holier than far than mother or father. And so Socrates, convicted unjustly, holding that we must never, quote, render evil for evil to anyone, whatever evil we may have suffered, drinks the hemlock, claiming to be a victim not of the laws, but of men. 22 centuries later from Jefferson, quote, the earth belongs usufruct to the living, the dead have neither powers nor rights over it. Jefferson to William Smith, the tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. It is its natural manure. And in the declaration he authored, whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. But the declaration is careful to indict a king by appeal to, quote, the laws of nature and of nature's God. And so the questions, does the law rightfully convict all 56 signers of the Declaration as corruptors who deserve death?
I'll say no, and I'll say it because, well, this could be a short answer or a long one. I guess I'll aim for something that's medium. Um, what follows from Jefferson's preamble and the Declaration of Independence is this very long list of grievances, some quite specific things that the king has done or has allowed his government to do that violate the rights that we have government to protect in the first place. I mean, you know, the magical sentence of the Declaration is in the second paragraph. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they're endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. So it's really all there. You know, the purpose of government and the process of government. The purpose of government is to secure rights. And the British government had not been. It had been trampling upon their rights. And the process by which we are to govern ourselves is through popular consent. We're going to elect representatives who will make the laws under which we'll live. And they can exercise their just powers. They can't make just any old law. The laws that they make have to protect our natural rights. So I think from the vantage point of 1776, it would be treason not to sign your name to the Declaration of Independence. Indeed, the Declaration even makes the argument that the king has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. So, you know, the Declaration has it as if we've been sort of cast out and we find ourselves in a state of nature. And so to secure our rights, we need to create a new government.
Okay. Yeah. So the question of the status of law in Plato is a very difficult question, and I have to fight the temptation, like Dr. McDonald did, to speak for hours on that question. Let me just say, one of the interesting things about trying to study Plato and speak on Plato's behalf is that it's very hard to understand exactly what he meant, even what Socrates as a character in most of his dialogues means. Jefferson in this letter, we read, says, and I'll quote him, thousands of volumes have not yet explained the Platonisms engrafted on them, and for this obvious reason, that nonsense can never be explained. He's put down. But one of the problems he points to, and Adams seems to take up too, is that there are a lot of different dialogues. I mean, we have 35 of them that come down to us under Plato's name. In the Crito, he says, you should obey laws, even unjust laws. And the Apology speaks against unjust laws. The Republic actually opens with a critique of all law, not just unjust laws, but just laws too, that points out that every law, even a very good law, is going to have to face some exception where it's just to violate the law. So his example is, do you give a knife back to a crazy person who was sane when he gave you the knife? And he says, no, you don't do that. So every law, even the really good ones, like give back and do what you say you're going to do and so on, they all have exceptions. So I think the way that that Plato would set us up to think about this is, what are the right kind of motives for violating traditions, for revising traditions, for even declaring revolution? And I think the way he would frame the question is really, what are the motives for that? Are they the sorts of things that a just person could do out of commitment to principle, to reason? Or are the fundamental motives for doing this sort of thing anger, resentment, the sense that we colonists have been treated like subjects, not with the pride we deserve? Or even low motives, like wanting to defend our property and increase it or protect slavery or whatever. I certainly think you can give an account of the American Revolution. It's one that I believe in, where the highest possible motives motivate, most of the founders who are involved in it. And I think that's the kind of account that Plato would reach for.